Why is the 1971 through 73 Mustang so big? In 1966, the Mustang weighed between 2,500 and 3,000 pounds, depending on the options that you chose. In 1971, they added a full 650 pounds of weight to the car. It was a full 8 inches longer and 6 inches wider. How and why did this happen? Well, believe it or not, the story starts in 1911, and I'll get into how that happened and why now. Stay tuned. In 1911, the Henry Ford, purchases a company called Kime Mills, a Buffalo bicycle factory. He did so because of the company's ability to make precise steel pressings. One of Kime Mills' employees at the time was William Knutson. Knutson was recognized by Ford pretty quickly, and he was called to Detroit in 1913 to expand Ford's national network of assembly plants. He directed Ford's mass production of submarine chasers during World War I, and after the war ended, he had control of Ford's affairs in Europe. Now, somewhere along the line, Henry Ford and Knutson didn't see eye to eye, and Knutson left Ford in 1921. In 1922, Knutson joined General Motors, and within a month became the vice president in charge of operations at Chevrolet Motor Division. Now, what does this have to do with the 1971 Mustang? Sit tight, I'm getting there. April 17, 1964, the Mustang is released at the World's Fair in Flushing Meadows, New York. It is introduced by Lee Iacocca. He's the man who rose up the ranks in Ford Motor Company. He started out in the engineering division, but quickly moved into the sales division, all the way up to vice president and general manager of the Ford division. It was in that role where he oversaw the development and marketing of the Mustang. After this success, most people within Ford felt that Lee Iacocca was destined to be the company's next president. Most people included Lee Iacocca. This was a position that only answered to Henry Ford II. Apparently, Henry Ford II didn't really like Lee Iacocca's style all that much. So in January of 1968, after a series of secret meetings, Henry Ford hired Bunky Knutson, who was the son of William Knutson. Yeah, that William Knutson from the beginning of the video. He hired him away from General Motors. Knutson at the time was the head of the Pontiac division. It's this hiring that led to several design changes. Bunky Knutson was the kind of guy that wanted to put his stamp on a company. He would often tour the Ford Design Center, asking for changes to be made that would clash with the desire of the designers and the demands of other Ford executives. One of those executives that he clashed with was, of course, Lee Iacocca, who felt that Knutson was forcing policy changes in parts of the company that fell under Iacocca's responsibility. Take a look at the nose on the 1970 Thunderbird. This was the design decision that Knutson made that Iacocca absolutely flipped over. He went right up to Henry Ford II and said, "You got to let this guy go or let me go. This thing is hideous." But that hideous decision was pushed through. So I got no words for this design on the nose of this thing. To me, it looks like a seagull. And I apologize if you own one of these cars and you love it, but it looks to me like it's one of those faces that only a mother could love. Knutson felt America wanted larger cars that was more value for their dollar. Henry Ford didn't feel that way. Henry Ford II was not really thrilled with Knutson's methods. So in September of '69, Bunky Knutson was fired from Ford. His termination was considered one of the biggest shakeups of the year in Detroit. After Knutson's termination, he was asked for his view of why he was fired. He stated that Henry Ford wanted to resume control of the company. Lee Iacocca was asked if he was sorry to see Knutson go. He replied, "I've never said no comment to the press in my life, but I'll say it to that one." Knutson's departure all but handed the job president over to Lee Iacocca. At this point, it was too late for Iacocca or really anyone to make changes to the 70 models, and they could only make minor changes to the 71 cars, and especially the Mustang. So in 1971, we have the largest Mustang ever produced, and we have a lifelong Pontiac executive to thank for it, Bunky Knutson. Now, a disclaimer here. I really like the 71 and 72 Mach 1s and the 71 Boss 351s. For me personally, the stripes, spoilers, and blacked out hoods are required on those cars. The 1973 Mach 1s and any year really of Grande or the base 71 through 73 Mustang, yeah, not so much for me. So that's how the Mustangs got to be big cars. And don't get me wrong, the Knutsons weren't bad people. William Knutson was responsible for getting American business involved in the war effort during World War II. If not for him, who knows where we would have been. And obviously his son got a job in the car industry due to his father and what he had done. But he wasn't a bad guy either. He was well liked in GM. He brought Larry Shinoda into Ford, and Larry Shinoda developed the Boss 302. The Boss nameplate, the Boss in Boss, is Bunky Knudsen. So, yeah, where would we be without Bunky Knudsen? Well, we'll probably have a smaller Mustang, but we wouldn't have a Boss Mustang. So we have to thank him for that. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing. It'd be appreciated. And thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you.